Okay. Today's date is um today's date is the um 20th of June 2026. Time now is 1:21 p.m. 1:21 a.m. or p.m. Uh, p.m. So today I'll be looking at this video here. So we are working on. I'm going to be researching the primary sector on my computer. Primary sector for innovation. So get a primary sector, agriculture, mining, forestry, fishing, primary sector. So this is what I'm saying. So I'm trying to grow my own crops in the Muko West. So Muko West, grow my own crops. I'm not basically the notes I'm taking down. It's like you're gonna have the housing, obviously, you're gonna have the farming, but you're gonna have the private sector. So you have private sector in the UK because the problem with security welfare is that you're gonna have your own allotment, land. So I'm thinking about how to do this properly. So it says here on Copilot. Let me see here on my screen, Copilot, that the primary sector is a part of the community. What's my glasses? Can't see anything. The primary sector. Essentially, the primary sector is part of the economic diverse extraction and production of natural resources, agriculture, mining, forestry, fishing, and quarrying, extracting stone or gravel or other materials. So it's like basically you have to be sustainable. So basically, I have to decide how to integrate the primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, and not basically the space sector with quaternary sector, the four sectors of life. So this is why I'll continue today. You go to secondary sector. The secondary sector involves transforming raw materials from primary sector into finished good through manufacturing and construction activities, such as automotive, cars, uh, textile, clothes. I'm gonna invest in clothes a bit more. Food processor, but it's gonna be because I'm thinking about this properly. So I'm thinking about this systematically, and systematically it has to be done in one allotment area, one plot of land. The land that we already have at a Hainault in I'm trying to buy. And this is be innovation. So I'm trying to get a bit of houses here with this land here. But primary, secondary, and tertiary. So this is secondary, and this tertiary technology. I can't do tertiary very well, but I can't build with a computer. But it takes time. The tertiary is a service sector, providing service rather than tangible goods. Playing a crucial role in modern economics. There's like an internet, you know, education, entertainment, professional consulting, healthcare. Yeah, health and rehab is what we have in the tertiary sector. The services that you get in the quaternary sector, So I'm just reading the sectors. So the sectors here, I'm researching myself, so I can build my operating system. So Muka OS, M for Mike, U for umbrella, C for Charlie, O for Oscar. Remember, it's a C for Charlie for the physical one, Namdi. And quaternary sector. There are four sectors to quaternary sector. The quaternary sector is the knowledge-based part of the college, focused on information, research, and intellectual services. IT, information technology, research and development, R&D, consulting. This is very easy to get into. Education and knowledge, media and communication, content creation, digital media, and emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, robotics. So this is the information. This is where a lot of things like. But focus on information and intellectual services. Often considered a subset or extension of tertiary services. Yes, 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 that is true. I understand that's true. And the fact of the matter is that is true. So this is the industrial sectors there. This is a what we call institution industries. The industrial sector have primary, secondary, tertiary. But, when it becomes tertiary, it become very large and corrupt and centralized. But we're gonna have decentralized, distributed model in Obinekas. So this is the primary sector of extraction, the research sector, second sector of manufacturing and assembly. And it comes to the tertiary of transport, advertising, selling, warehouses, and consumer sector of yeah. So. So so this is the primary school. Any economic activity that creates jobs and provide economic income. Now that is clear as day. You know, basically, I studied geography, and they told me this in geography, so I learned this in geography too. But the goal of this is to build our own. I'm not gonna build everything. No, I'm not gonna build everything. It's gonna be very, very exhausting for me, even me myself and I. But I'm gonna build the housing. So I really gotta hear what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to look at the problem. I'm trying to review what I'm doing, properly. I'm gonna review what I'm doing properly. So because it's a law, basically my constitution is the security and welfare. Security and welfare. This is Muko West. I'm talking about security and welfare. Then design and technology. Design and technology, because we are building we build on technology. So this is emerging technology. Basically, I think the four things I want to be basically first I want to work in the I want to make it first sector of it sounds kind of counterintuitive. First sector or primary sector. First sector is primary sector. Second sector is uh, tertiary sector, and what's that? And the fourth sector is quaternary. So basically, primary, tertiary, and quaternary sector. And that's what I'm working at. But it overlaps. So it has to be working because I'm building robots too. So that's what I'm saying to you. So the fact of the matter is, it works in a way that is kind of interesting to deal with, but the thing I'm building is like literally a system that can have all of this all in one. It's represent. So basically, the allotment in Haynote, in Ilford Haynote, has gonna have this things this allocation to it, of me, of what's right to build, right to build, of my a building plan. So let me find the building plan, build planning law, England, PDF. The Planning Act governed by several key, including the Planning Act Planning Act legislation, waste, the Planning Act 2008, yeah, the updated, but, let me just find chapter one, kind of order, which let me just find some grant or refusals, of power of state intervention, the single appointed person procedure, the planning procedure, the planning. What is planning? I don't even understand planning. That's what I came to the fees. National policy statements. I'm just reading this, by the way. Airports. I'm not building any airports here, but I can build airports. You know, when development consent is required, meaning of development. Consent on the Development Act is allows the technical plan of form national and this act development of the determine of the Section 2 of the kind of tobacco and vapes. Oh, these are the new laws. Removal of two-child limit. Ah, finally! Pass of law, hereditary period. So, this 2026 a new law. They finally the two-child removal nonsense. The government is doing very well. I mean, very poorly. Digital accounts access 17. These dates are good, but they're bad because the review of the dates is like you have to have an extension. So architecturally it doesn't make any sense. So you gotta add more because you want it under one act that we want it, and you want to make any changes. So at any time, any point in time. But instead of just saying just Digital Economy Act 2017, you have 2018 or 2019, or something like that, which doesn't exist. You have to be careful how you because I don't want any typos in my own work. But that is the idea. You have a separation, like something that you can update and people can still reference across all ones without the data specifically. With the data input in the document, when you get a document, you have to have the date. So I'm not really sure about how to implement that, but as long as it's a law, people know the law, then this works too. I'm saying, Social Worker Act 2017. These are the UK is getting better at looking after children. Social worker. I want to foster kids, guys. Guys, I want to foster kids. Should I foster kids? Sorry. So basically, I'm thinking to myself right now. I want to foster kids. So the Planning Act 2026, the town legislation of the UK. I tried to use the act against the police. It didn't work. Basically, Planning Act. So basically, what is planning? Definition of planning. Fees. Let me find definition of planning. Definition of planning. Definition of planning. Law England. Planning is planning governed by planning act which establishes frameworks for planning in the country, essentially the film occurs in the right place at the right time, benefit benefit communities and economics. Key aspects, local plans. Up here outlines authorities, pilot to publish shape, planning, multiple da 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 da. So I'm trying to basically my one works by OHA IJI. So it has to be very well worked, because you're gonna have something that that believe in system. I'm not trying to build something I don't know. I'm building for the UK framework, already of law and of governance, and that's what I've learned, so long. So you have uh, this is a racial regulation working looking at what else? OHA community, Iwu law, and EG order, EG order. This order in all of us. Malfunction. This is my notes basically. Here. Private sector, agriculture, security and welfare. Security and welfare, and then design technology. Already said that. What am I saying here? So, in Sliggy, basically chaos mitigation. We are EG, EG, EG. So AHA is community, Iwu is law, and the G is order. So basically, the next thing I'm trying to do is this. I've looked at the reference to the work I've done. So what's the next thing I'm trying to do? So mathematically, I'm trying to work with the EG. This is my work here. My work here. I just did some notes. This is my notes this morning. Just it was just notes this morning, but it's good enough to get started with my work here. So this is my notes. So I just wrote it down quickly as possible. So EG is order. I should start marking who wrote this. Because I can just be building myself. It's not good enough. So this should be who wrote this? Who was this one? I don't even know. Who was that yesterday? I was Uche. So Uche wrote all this work. This is Uche's work. Uche, your work is sloppy. Sloppy work. So you're gonna have a G, which means order. A G's order. We are ordered. So the framework I'm proposing is not a competition to the UK framework. I'm not because UK. I'm not fighting with the UK in this. So I'm building my own utopia. I'm building where I want to live. People have done it before. People have built their own utopias. So I'm building my own. Like because I'm tripolar, and I'm not the only one doing this. There's someone across the borders doing this. So, OHA is community, Iwu is law, and Ig is order. So this is very important here that I've stressed this properly. So you have Oha Iwu, which is a covenant. I don't believe it's a covenant. Remember, a covenant. So it's a covenant. Yeah. So you're gonna have the branching. Basically, think of leaf nodes. Leaf nodes. That's really totally. If you have a tree, the tree has a root, a branch, and a leaf. So, but this is pillars. So you're going to have Oha is an independent pillar, is a root. Iwu is its own root. Iji is its own order root. And you get Oha, Iwu, in Sigi, which is Oha, which stands for community, law, and Nsigi, N for November, Sarah, I for Indigo, G for Gold, I for India, Human Rights Protocol, which is a branch of the two common. Basically, it connects Oha and Obu together. So Oha and Obu is the covenant. It's basically a covenant, not a capsule. So it's a covenant. It connects two pillars together. So the Oha community and law Obu work together to provide Insigi, which is the free market protocol. Now think about this properly. So Insigi, you get Insigi, you got OBIAI, ontological Bayesian intelligence, artificial intelligence. Ontological Bayesian intelligence, which are robots that prefer use knowledge graph, probabilistic tripartite DAGs, tripartite consensual DAGs, or three colorable graphs, and intelligence to go to the real world and give out and handle humanitarian aid. So the Insignia Protocol is a human rights protocol. So it should stop you from dying. It should prevent dying. So this can be you can understand now. Now it's getting serious with me. So if I add a G, basically a G will be a G a G basically this is not even the right one basically. If I make it a ha, if I make it a wu, a G, a wu, a G, or or ha, a G, which is community order. So the robots have right to give you food, water, and offer self defense. Because when you're in the real world, it's chaotic, and if you have EG protecting the real world, you're gonna have chaos mitigated. So the idea of this legislation is you have branching, and you have it works for the people. So because I'm tripolar, so three of us are here, community. E.g., two of us are bilateralism. Two of us are here, bilateralism, which is law, and e.g., one of us is here, which is order. We are ordered. We just get on with our lives. Oh, it hurts my head. What's here? So I've spoken about this one here. Now, what else? What else? What else? I have to get it into the drawing. So let me stop this video. It's been past 19 minutes now. And try to. I'm not building everything from scratch. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna build what I can. So that's the number. Basically, the space to breed is the primary sector. So I want to be able to grow my own crops. You know, and I have my own trees. you know, have my own crops. So basically, I'm growing basically it's gonna be agricultural, but it's gonna be the same thing as crops, just regular crops. The you grow without weed, you're gonna have a gene, you're gonna have primary, you're gonna have a OHA, a woo, which is the law. So you're gonna have the crops, they grow for free. If you can eat there, and without going outside the condition, because it's one utopia. It's one utopia. And you're gonna have a so you're gonna have the crop, the agriculture, the forestry. I love forestry. You're gonna have the mining. I can't mine. But if I can mine, I'll do it. So I'll be doing agricultural, forestry, and mining for minerals, which can then produce in the service sector, which is basically tertiary sector, which can sell. I can sell this, to others and produce my own food and water and shelter, which I will do. Oh yes, no, no, no. I have to do all of them because I build my own house. So I have to do primary, secondary, and tertiary. So I have to build my own house. So it's my own dwellings or living quarters, which are housing. So I have to build my own house in the dwelling. So bring my own house. Well, build in my own house. So that's second sector. Churches will give me services. So free food, water, shelter to everybody there. Basically, you can go and get it, if you can, but sectors there, so you're gonna have that there. But so that's the goal today. That's the plan. This malfunction that I was spoken about. This malfunction. So I'm getting £40,000 out soon. 40,000 out pounds. So you're gonna get a malfunction of hardware. My functions are malicious functions. But I think something like malfunction. If you have some opcode, so if I define a function, this is a big one, but I have to think about it properly. So malfunctions are that so if you have some arbitrary opcode in a malfunction definition, so you get basically in assembly instruction sets, you have operation and you have operator, operand, and you have the result. So this is the opcode here. So what was I saying? So you're gonna have the opcode. So operation code is defined. So I haven't really researched this because it's a big thing I'm working on. But this is something else. So you have uh, the framework of malicious malware, but you're gonna have let me Google malfunction because malfunction are operations that define arbitrarily. So they're not supposed to define, but they execute because there's something that's executed. So malfunction of a piece of equipment machinery fail to function normally. Fail to function normally. This it says you see I can believe malfunction just fails to function. I believe there's something going on with the equipment itself, and that's the least of that malfunction because basically this malfunction theory. I can call it malfunction theory. But it says here definition: the unit of piece of equipment of machinery fail to function normally. Because I, I think it's like in C you have a in C programming language you have a misbehavior, or what is it? There's formal terminology for it, of a C something. Basically, in C, when you program and you have a undefined, unspecified behavior, unspecified behavior of a piece of. I have to think about this properly. Like C specification. You can execute some malcode. Malfunction the code. Because stuff not working normally at that stage of the system. So that's what I'm saying. Um, So that's what I'm saying. So if you have some C specification of a function that not it doesn't add function, something that defines the different full name specification, specification, you can execute arbitrary code. If you get on this unspecified behavior, you can start executing malfunction things that are malfunction that deviate from normal normally. It's not just normal, it's normal execution. It's something that has to cause that execution. But I'm trying to develop a lot of things around this framework I'm building. But I'm trying to define the framework. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm saying that it's something that's been true language. Computers should know, man. If you have specification, it should work. Your specification should specify the instruction that define how it behaves properly. If it doesn't, you get undefined behavior because of type issues, or you are opening yourself to malfunction, malicious attacks, which lead to an arbitrary execution, which are malfunctions, uh, which are arbitrary execution. So I hope hope I'm making sense. But if this video doesn't get likes, it's fine. It's not fine. Sorry, give some likes. Anything I'm forgetting? No.